Hi, welcome to Community Homeworks class this evening. We're going to have a discussion with four of our participants, and they're going to share some of their tips for fall, getting their homes, their yards, themselves ready for fall and winter. We might branch out into winter. We might branch out into other areas because these are four smart ladies that have lots of knowledge and good ideas, and you can't put four women in the same Zoom meeting. And so I'd like to thank them all for joining us this evening, and I'll introduce them in just a moment. I would like to remind you that we are a nonprofit organization, and if you would like to contribute to help keep our programs going, the way to do that will scroll across the bottom of your screen. Next week, our class will be on drywall, either hanging or repairing, depending on who ends up teaching. So we hope you will join us for that one too. So I would like to welcome tonight's guest stars, us not to dance or sing. First of all, I'd like to welcome Sally. Hi, Sally.
Hi, good evening.
It's so good to see you again. It's
Yes,
just
it is.
almost like being in person. We're so happy. And then I'd like to welcome Nancy.
Hello.
Hello, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Nancy's dogs are with her this evening. So if you hear barking, it's just her dogs who think they
Here's something.
They have company in their living room right now when we talk. And let's meet April. There's April. April also has a dog, and if a walnut falls on her roof, he will start to bark for us also.
Yes, he will.
Last but not least is Dorothy, who might be joined by her cat Dexter. I'm in the office tonight, so you won't get to see any of my cats like you do sometimes if we're from home. So tonight, these four ladies have graciously joined us to offer tips that they do around their homes to get ready as the seasons change. And I think since I did Dorothy last, I'm going to do Dorothy first now. And Dorothy, what's the most important tip you would like to share with us?
Well, there's a lot of important things to do, or I just don't prioritize well. But the one thing, and I have failed to do this yet, is to order the filter for my my furnace humidifier. And I keep this handy sheet so I know what I'm ordering. But I have to put it in the fall because I do not have central air. And so it's been months and months since my humidifier had to run. So that is what I need to do and clean out the water chamber. Lots of calcium buildup.
Great. I don't think mine has a filter. Guess maybe I should go and check. So I guess the other thing I'd like to tell everyone who's watching is you should maybe get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen so you can write down tips as we go along. How about you, April? What's the most important thing on your list?
Making sure my furnace filter is clean and making sure that I have disconnected all of my garden hoses from the spigots. Otherwise, they will end up freezing and backing up into the house, and I will have a horrible mess with my plumbing.
Do you also turn the water off in the house?
To the outside spigots, yes.
And
Helps
I think
prevent
last
freezing.
Last year, I can't remember. I want to say it was at Lowe's. We found the styrofoam little covers for those spigots that you can put on them outside too. And they were like less than $2. And most people
Pool noodles work.
Spigots. They're supposed to help insulate it.
Pool noodles.
Ah. You can probably still get those at the Dollar Tree.
Well, the $1.25 tree.
How about you, Nancy? Yeah,
And making sure my eaves troughs out.
Okay, don't tell us everything. We'll come back to you. Don't worry. How about you, Nancy? I know you have some special things to share with us.
My main thing is in the heating department, I vacuum my vents, my floor vents. So, because when the heater starts or the furnace starts working, all that hot air blows dust into the house. So I like to vacuum it out, take it apart, and just wash it and try to suck as much down the vent hole as possible. Just
Well, with dogs, I bet you collect extra, don't you?
yes. So there's a lot of little icky stuff. So that's what I like. And it's always nice to do it on a warm October day, open all the windows and also with the windows being open, I like to vacuum all my screens and store them when they're clean instead of, when you're getting them out for the summer, they're filthy. So I just kind of vacuum those as well.
Great. And Sally, I know you live in an old house. Do you have any special things you have to do because it's an older home, or?
I don't think so. The first thing I do, which I already did this week, is I go around and I wash all my windows inside and outside and put away my screens. Like Nancy said, they need to be cleaned. And then some of them I can just bring my storm down, but I want all my storms down. And when I do that, I check every window for any little leaks or cracks. Usually in the old house, there's a new crack or something. So when I wash my windows, I also carry a caulking gun so I can fill any holes. Okay.
Well, if you got your windows all washed, we'll be all glad to send you our addresses, and you can, I'll put the key under the mat and you can come wash mine.
Yeah, but I don't have my gutters cleaned yet. It's too early. I have to wait for the leaves for the gutters. But I already drained my rain barrel.
Yeah, so do you drain it empty, all the way empty, so nothing freezes in it?
Yes, it has to be empty. And I don't have any like lawnmower or anything. I don't have any grass, so I don't have any of that to take care of and winterize and get put away. But I will be putting my yard tools away. I don't have a garage, so I clean all my tools after my yard's all cleaned up and put them in my basement.
Great. And what do you use to clean your tools? Do you just wash them off, or do you
oil
them or anything?
I wash them with soap and water, and then I put WD-40 on everything, let it dry, wipe it all off, make sure it's in good shape. If it needs to be sharpened, then I don't know what to do because I don't remember how to do that. I went to your class, but I forgot. So I guess if it needs to be sharpened, I guess I have to take another class.
I know that garden tools that cut, your clippers, your hedge trimmers, those kind of things, you can take them to several places in town. But I don't know if anybody sharpens shovels or, something like that. Maybe one of you guys does, or if somebody's watching and they know if you can take a shovel to get sharpened, let us know, please. Type in a comment. Let's go back to April. What's on your list also? Oh, April, you muted yourself. Yep. Okay, go ahead. You got to unmute yourself, April. We can't hear you. There you go.
My daughter just brought me a 3-foot long clipping from a passion flower, and she wants me to root it for her. So That will go into a jar until I have time to do it.
What plants do you grow outside that you can take cuttings from and save over the winter?
Oh, Lord. Pretty much everything that I have. Lavender is one. It's a new flower called Drops of Jupiter. My yard is full of all different types of plants. And I've got a pothos and a peace lily that I leave out during the summer, but then I bring them in over the winter because I don't want them to die and they're old. But things like celery that I've got growing or some tomato plants that I've got growing outside, I bring in and try to keep them wintering over so I have fresh veggies.
Great. Do
That's
you know,
about it.
can you bring mint inside from your garden or your yard and keep it going all winter? Does anybody know? Dorothy, you're a gardener.
Never tried with
Okay.
mint. I try with rosemary and it's tough. You know, it's hard to keep it the right moisture and it'll dry out from the furnace air. So it's tricky.
Sage is one that grows
Okay.
really well inside over the winter. That's Russian sage, so I'm not sure if it's different from the white sage or the other sages, but the Russian does really well.
Cool. How about you, Dorothy? I know you have beautiful plants in your yard. I drive by them almost every day.
And just note, I have a walnut problem too, and it probably sounds like I'm being bombed here. Fortunately, my cats don't bark. So I have a lot of plants that during the cold months are spread throughout the house. And I take most of them onto my screen porch for the summer, and they get really vibrant and nice. They get good sun there. But they do get some bugs in them. And so I plan to spray with some kind of indoor plant insecticide to kill off the little spiders and bugs so they don't come to live with me. A friend mentioned that he uses Dr. Bronner's with a spray contraption. I'm not sure which variety. I imagine it's soap and
Peppermint oil and water work really well
Yes.
Okay,
do
tell us
they
again.
kill the spiders?
to help kill the bugs.
Peppermint oil?
Peppermint oil and water. About a teaspoon of peppermint oil to about a quart of water, and just spray the plants, and it will kill the bugs, but not the plants.
Cool.
I knew you guys would have some great ideas.
Because I don't do anything toxic. But peppermint oil works.
Yeah, we don't want to kill your plants, just the bugs.
Yeah, exactly. Or ourselves.
I don't know. You sure? No.
Yeah. I don't know. The way I've been lately, you never know.
How about you, Sally? What's something else you do? Because I know you have a huge garden also. You have a neighborhood garden, right?
I do, but I've never been very good at house plants. So I don't bring many things in. I bring my rosemary in because it's a topiary, but it doesn't always live, like Dorothy said. It's hard to keep it alive. So mostly I just plant things that live outdoors. I do not rake my leaves. because leaves make great mulch for all the plants. I do a lot of native plants, and I don't cut most things down because all those stalks and leaves and things are where the insects and the bees live in the winter. So my spring cleanup, there's a lot of cleanup, but you don't have to. You can use leaves instead of wood chips for mulch. So that's pretty much what I do. And it keeps the weeds down, and it keeps the plants kind of insulated, and it gives everybody a home for the winter.
The leaves.
The leaves and the stalks. I don't.
I used to, up until about a week ago, I would always leave the leaves for insulation and bugs and everything. However, I read something about snakes loving the leaves. So I've been raking them away, the foundation of my house, and trying to put them more in the yard. Especially since I heard that there was a Massasauga rattlesnake on Wallace Street last week.
Really?
Wow.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I don't have.
Yes,
I
watch
don't
out
have-
for snakes. And now that we have rattlesnakes coming into the neighborhoods,
I don't have leaves close to my house, so they're mostly out in the yard. But what else was I going to say? Oh, I get my furnace checked every fall. The people that installed my furnace, for $85, they clean and check it in the fall, and I'm first on the list if I have any problems at all. No extra service charge if it's on a Sunday or anything, as long as you pay that maintenance fee, which is great. I also have somebody that comes and checks my water heater. I have an on-demand water heater, and every other year, not every year, but every other year, they come and they drain it and clean it out and make sure everything is working well. Because I don't want to be the lady that's stuck on a Sunday afternoon in January. It's 5 below zero. I just like to get everything checked in the fall. So, and I change my furnace filters once a month all year round, because it's the same filter for the air conditioners for the furnace. So,
Right.
So I just buy. It's cheaper if you buy a case from your furnace man, if you have a furnace man. I just buy a case, and then the first of every month I change my filter. Even if it doesn't look like it needs it, I'm not taking any chances.
No.
So
How about you, Nancy? What do you and the dog have to offer us?
I don't have central air, so I turn my furnace off during the summers. So but I make sure that it's ready to kickstart when I need it.
Yep.
So I go down there and I clean it and check all the area around it, make sure I don't store stuff around it.
Yep.
So, but I change my filters often too. It makes the air dry.
Yeah. If we had to take a lawnmower in to have it looked at, it took them 8 weeks
Wow.
to get the lawnmower back to us because they had to order a part that was sitting on a boat, some offshore docking place.
Wow.
So it's a really good time to check your snow blower. That was the tip this week. Because if it's going to take 8 weeks to get a part, you don't want the snow to already be, a foot deep on your sidewalk and get a ticket from the city because you didn't check it soon enough to get it running.
But the other thing I do at this time of the year is I bring out my things for my winter car. I'm going to make sure that I have a blanket and a hat and gloves and extra boots, warm boots, an emergency candle and a metal can to put it in, and a LED light. I have a portable air compressor because that'll put air in the tires, and it will also have one that will charge your battery. in case you're dead. So you don't have to have, I have jumper cables, but you have to have someone else around if you have jumper cables. So if
Right.
you're stuck somewhere by yourself, there's a portable charger that works. And every 60 days I check that. It occasionally needs to be charged like your phone. So every 60 days I bring it in the house and charge it. And a first aid kit. So I want to have all that stuff in the trunk in case I skid off the road or something worse.
Do you have a shovel in your car?
I have a small shovel. Yes.
Or a bag of cat litter.
Oh, that's on my list. Thank you so much. I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Get that pen and paper out. Write that one down.
I got it. I'm writing right now. Cat litter. For cars.
It works wonders.
That's what I understand. Okay.
That and cardboard boxes. Put them under your wheels.
How about you, Dorothy? What do you do with all those beautiful plants
With all what?
when it's time to get rid of them? All your beautiful plants in the backyard.
Well, seeing as the walnuts are destroying them right now, there won't be anything to save of the impatiens. I do winter over a couple of dipladenia plants, and one is in a huge pot, and I somehow maneuver it into my dining room, and then I don't have a place to entertain, but you know, who's entertaining now? And I have one that's hanging basket size that I take upstairs, and before I bring them in, I cut them back a bit. They're going to lose leaves inside. They go into kind of a semi-dormant state. But those are about the only things that I save over. I have a nice garden on my curb lawn, and I want to at least cut that down a bit so it doesn't end up a big mound of snow that people can't see around from the snow, snow trucks. Yeah. But yeah, I've got so many house plants. I can't take in too many strays from the garden. Watching the weather reports to see when we dip into the 40s, and those will come in.
And how about you, Nancy? Do you do anything special for the dogs? Do you have to do any fall or winter preparation for having pets?
Other than using the pet-friendly ice salt,
Right.
They're small dogs, so we have to make sure they have their coats. And we are going to get them little booties because it's really cold. Never had a small dog before. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I do need to re-insulate my dog door. I have a dog door that goes inside my garage, and last year it was quite windy, so I need to re-insulate it, and I don't know quite how I'm going to do it because it has a rubber flap, but I want to do something to not let the wind come in. So,
do you want to seal it up entirely, or do the dogs still go out there?
They still go out there, so I don't know if maybe I can do something to the sides, like, put some foam on the sides, because it's a homemade hole in the door, and it just has a rubber flap. So I'm thinking of the foam that we made the windows out of, just to kind of stop the drafting.
Yeah, some of the foam weather stripping.
Yeah.
Do any other animals ever come in there?
My cats, we no, because they let me think.
Do you ever like get a squirrel or a raccoon or anything?
No, only because the cats are very protective.
Oh, okay.
So we did have a raccoon check it out,
Ooh.
but we scared it away, and
Oh, good.
yeah. So,
Okay.
but we don't leave any food in our garage.
No.
Mm-mm.
I would think the dogs barking at some other critter would scare it
Oh,
away
yeah.
too.
Right, too. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So, how about you, Dorothy? You do anything for your pets for the winter?
Not beyond their shots and checkup in September. You know, they basically have their door opener. I wouldn't trust my two cats to have a kitty door into the house because they have tried to walk in with little rodents in their mouth.
Oh, we get presents all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Those are a surprise.
Time I had somebody do
Let's see.
work
There, this guy right here.
with a rat squirrel.
This guy likes to bring in woodchucks.
Oh.
Oh,
Woodchucks are big.
Snap. But yeah, he brings in woodchucks. And he catches mice in the house.
Well, mice in the house, that would be a good thing to catch.
Yes.
But the woodchucks are kind of scary.
Oh Lord, that's a whole nother story.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
But he is a good mouser.
Okay.
does he meow like a cat?
He makes many strange noises.
But how about you, Nancy? Any other great tips? I know what you do for a living. Do you have hints for us of how to help keep our houses cleaner in the winter? Other than vacuuming our vents, which help cut down on the dust.
Well, that I've been vacuumed all the appliances under the refrigerator, beside the refrigerator, pull the refrigerator out.
Yeah.
And vacuum all of that. I like to vacuum. I don't know, maybe that's my problem is. But this time of the year, when the furnace is running in it, well, because I don't have central air, I see all the dust that's now coming around.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like the dishwashers, the crevices of like the stove where you pull that drawer out. There's all kinds of, so it's kind of like a deep clean for the appliances, and you do it the same every year, so at least you're on top of it.
Right.
Well, and ladies, when we're done with class, I'm going to hook you all together because so far we have someone who likes to wash windows, someone who likes to vacuum.
Right. Right.
we can start a service here for folks.
A trade, right.
How about you, April? I know you told me one the other day.
I like to break
I know
bones.
you told me something I've never heard of. I know you told me something that you do with walnuts at your house.
Oh,
that I had never heard of.
Put them in the corners inside of your home in this tent. I can't even say the word right now. But the chemicals inside the husk on the walnuts deters mice and spiders.
Oh.
Spiders, especially like the huntsman spider or the wolf spiders, do not like the scent from the walnuts or the chemicals in the husk on the walnuts. So if you put them in the corners of your home, It helps keep the spiders at bay.
How long does that last?
I would say I change my walnuts out about once a month.
Okay.
So if you bring them in, put them in a paper sack down in the basement where it's cool, and then just once a month change them out, and it works fairly well.
Now we're not.
How about you, Sally?
I don't have any more information.
Okay, just keep writing down the things you're learning then. How about you, Dorothy? I think Dorothy's frozen. Nope, there she goes.
Let's see. Along with making sure the snow starts, I remind myself you gotta get separate along. I would wonder why I'd have to take my lawnmower in the spring for service, and it's an ancient lawnmower, so it gets real cantankerous and doesn't want to start when the weather and the gas is cold. So you want to do that before it dips into way cold. And the other thing, I drain out my hoses because they're going into the basement, because I think they deteriorate out in the garage. My garage isn't real secure.
Does anybody spray their snow shovel with spray?
WD
spray? I use cooking spray.
Do you really?
What does
I use WD-40. It doesn't get as gunky as the cooking oil spray.
Oh, okay. I just, when those cooking oil spray cans get almost empty, I just put them out by my snow shovel and then put them on the porch by the shovel. If you spray them, it makes your shovel slippery, so the snow will slide right off, instead of how sometimes you shovel and it sticks. The snow will
that's cool.
Slide off, that shovel off.
Okay, good to know.
I did have someone ask me the other day, one of our other participants, what any of you might do to get ice buildup off your sidewalks other than putting a salt melt product down. Do you?
Dawn dish soap.
I told her to just don't wait till it builds up, but and that I have a ice chopper
That's the biggest thing
that I chop with sometimes. But anybody else have a good hint? Anything they've tried that worked for them to keep the ice buildup off the sidewalks?
No, I can't.
WD-40.
No.
Dawn dish soap works.
What does it do? Does it melt the ice?
If you mix it with vinegar, it helps to melt the ice and keep it melted down.
Huh.
I think this year, though, I'm just going to use a chisel and chip it away. I don't need to be slippery. Just stay in the house.
It does not help the other people who have to walk on your sidewalk.
I only have a sidewalk up to my door, so if they want, they can wear the spikes on their shoes if they want to come and visit me. Snowshoes or something.
Some of us have to keep our city sidewalks clean.
Right.
Yeah.
How about you? See, any other great tips?
Me?
Yes.
No, I can't think of anything right now. I probably will when this is over.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, no, I really can't think of anything that hasn't already been said. Yeah.
How about you, Dorothy?
Um, I had a whole list that my does.
Sand.
So I'm out of ideas. Um,
Cat litter.
yeah, I would choose and call somebody to do my upper gutters. And I need to do that.
Yeah, you have a tall house. I wouldn't want to see you climbing a ladder to clean those out. Do we have any suggestions for cleaning gutters? Well, one of the things that I put as a tip not too long ago, well, probably a long time ago now, if you use the long pole that your roller goes on for when you paint and take an old cruddy roller, you can hold it at an angle. So, like if this is the roller, you'd have your handle and then you roll it along inside your gutters and it will push it to the downspout. And then you have to hope it comes out on its own.
Oh, that's good.
But it will move things along and get the big chunks of leaves and stuff down, probably falling on top of your head, but wear old clothes and a hat.
And thick leather gloves.
If you're going to pick things up, if
Right.
they're just going to fall on your head, gloves won't help.
No.
Unless you want to, put them over your ears or something, I guess.
They would hang over my ears, probably.
Well, and I guess the other thing I would suggest that you do is make sure your winter coat fits and the zipper works and the buttons are all there, or the snaps,
Yep.
and that you've got a hat, like Sally said, a hat and an extra pair of gloves in your car,
Yes.
and that your boots aren't leaking. And then I don't know quite how to test that other than I guess walk through a puddle, but and making sure that you either have a heater in your bird bath, or if you have a bird bath, or turning mine, I just flip it over so it doesn't fill with snow and freeze and crack. Trying to think of other things that I do. Shovel and shovel and shovel.
And I think that this year we're going to be doing a whole lot of that by the looks of the walnuts.
Yeah, are they extra big this year or extra thick casings?
I've had some on my tree literally the size of softballs, very thick husked, and there's just thousands of them.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
And Dorothy's going,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
consumers, when they came through, they literally cut half of my walnut tree canopy off. So I've still got more walnuts. I've been in this house 30 years and I still have more walnuts than I have ever seen. So I think it's going to be a hard winter.
Dorothy, what do you do with your walnuts? Well, hi, Dexter. You can come. It's all right. Dexter, do you eat the walnuts?
No. He stays close to the house and hopes for the best.
Hopes he doesn't get hit in the head with them.
Yeah, head injury. I put them in my my garbage bin. I kind of think they're not yard waste. I mean, they're kind of, you can get them at the grocery store. So, and they would break the paper bags that I use for yard waste anyway. And at this point, I'm having to stockpile walnuts in the garage because they make the cans so heavy if I put beyond a certain amount that I can't push it out to the curb. So it's a very heavy year, and I don't use enough in baking to mess with saving any.
Yeah, they're really hard to open up, aren't they?
Unless you're a squirrel, they seem to do a fine job and throw the husks all over the yard. But yeah, they kind of are. Your car can
You
do
can
it, but
put them in a pair of pantyhose and throw them in your driveway and drive over them, and that gets the husks off of them. And then you can store them in your basement and let them dry out.
do you do that?
I do that occasionally. I've got a black walnut tree, so they're really good walnuts. So if I plan on doing very much baking, I will save them. This year, I'm not doing anything. So other than I'll pick them up and throw them in the road and let the cars run them over.
How about you, Nancy? Anything come to mind yet?
Nope, I don't. I don't have walnuts.
Lucky you.
That's what I hear. But I have oak trees, so
Oh, you have those
yeah.
big leathery leaves.
yeah, I get those little whirlies that. But anywho, no, no, but I have been using those Microsoft, those Microsoft cloths that you buy at the like Gales or Menards or whatever. Those are awesome for washing windows with just water, and you can scrub a lot of the debris on the windows. You just a light mist of water works very well, and also on shower doors. The shower that have the glass. Those work very well in cleaning that. Other than that, I can't really. I'm drawing blanks.
The microfiber cloths are fabulous, and like you said, they don't use any chemicals, just water.
Right, and if you wash or dry them, when you dry them, don't use fabric softener sheets.
Right.
I don't use fabric softener sheets on anything.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
I never use them.
Well, I found that out the hard way.
Fireballs work great, and there's nothing to go in a landfill, and there's no chemicals in your house, and the chemicals have a tendency to clog up your dryer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're not good. They're not good for your appliances either.
The lint screen in your dryer, that you take out, and you should wash that about once a month too. Just
Absolutely.
mild soapy water in your kitchen sink and a really light brush with a toothbrush or a microfiber cloth. Because especially if you use dryer sheets, which, as Sally said, are really unhealthy for many reasons, but that will take all that gunk out of your screen and your dryer vent too.
I'll have to look into that.
Also, another thing for the dryer, when you take out your screen, take a wire clothes hanger and reach inside the little compartment that the screen goes into and pull out the lint.
Right. Very good.
If you don't want to tear your dryer apart, it works really well. Just a wire coat hanger.
Huh.
Yeah.
And pull out the lint.
Well,
especially if you have a gas dryer.
Oh, yes. I have one of those.
Yeah. Well, and I think if the weather prediction for a heavy winter is in effect, make sure you have a library card and that you go and stack up on some books in case you can't get out for a few days. Because, we've probably read all the books we have in our house in the past 15 months.
Probably.
And are you aware that Kalamazoo Public Library has audio books that you can download onto your devices and read too? It's a great way that you can listen to a book while you're driving, or you can be knitting and you don't have to stop and turn the pages or whatever. I love having discovered the public library audio books, and they're all free as long as you have a library card. So
Jessie listens to them while she's driving.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to join Audible at Amazon and pay them any money.
Nope.
They have a huge selection of books, so, and some good programs you can go to, so that you can get out and do something. I think it's so important, especially after the last year we've had to just keep in contact with people. You know,
Yes, it is.
I have a rule that every week I try to call 3 people that I haven't talked to for a while, other than like some of you guys, but just 3 other people that I know for some reason or another. And sometimes it's a 5-minute conversation of, hi, how are you? Is there anything you need? Or, did you get through COVID? Whatever. Or sometimes it's a 2-hour conversation and everything they've had to eat for the past 15 months. But it's that contact that I think is so important. And I think even more important, it's not a maintenance issue, but it's a mental health maintenance issue to keep in contact with your friends, your neighbors, church members, whoever, especially if you've got someone that can't get out and maybe do things for themselves as easily once winter hits. So, because right now we are the old people, but I used to always get a laugh out of my mother. She would, at 86, would say, well, I'm going to the nursing home to visit the old people. I go, Mom, you are the old people. She goes, no, I'm not ready to be an old people. And she'd go off to the nursing home. So, you just have to keep yourself physically fit and mentally healthy. Those are important maintenance things too. It's not just your house and your yard. You have to keep yourself together.
I try.
Don't we all? And stock up on some food. Always make sure you've got a loaf of bread in the freezer and peanut butter and jelly in the cupboard.
Yep.
Some tuna fish or whatever.
And food for your animals.
Yes, and animal food. And salt for your water softener if you have that. I always try to stock up on that. And
Hey,
it's bad enough trying to carry it in the house when it's nice weather, and let alone when it's snowy or slippery or anything. And,
Ginger.
You just start, if you buy a bag of whatever every time you go to the grocery store, pretty soon your house is full of it and you don't need to buy any all winter.
That's right.
Like
Good
bird
point.
food.
Yep. Oh, April, you should see my bird feeder was someplace where a squirrel could get on it. And I couldn't figure out why it wasn't staying up. I built a feeder for the oiled sunflowers. And it was always, instead of standing up, it was always like this. I have so many sunflowers coming up around it. You were told me to put it where I didn't care if sunflowers grew. I mean, I don't know if they'll winter or not, but I've got all sorts of little sunflower sprouts about yay tall. I probably have 150 of them.
Wow.
They'll probably flower and have little tiny itty bitty seeds on them that the birds will be able to eat this winter, because that's how it is by my bird feeders.
Can I dig any of them up and bring them inside, or will they winter on their own?
The seeds will winter on their own. They'll come back up next year. I've had tomato seeds from my garden that came back, so the sunflower should do just fine. The seeds.
One of our best tomato plants this year is growing in the compost pile.
It's amazing.
Do you compost your garden, Sally?
Yes, I certainly do. I compost all my food scraps.
Yep.
I don't eat meat, so most everything I have goes right in the.
Do you use coffee grounds or do you do coffee?
Oh yeah, I use coffee grounds. I put everything, potato peels, all the veggie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can put like pizza boxes in there, that'll compost. All kinds of things.
Basically anything but meat, right? As far as food goes.
Correct. I don't do
eggshells.
I do all food scraps except sometimes like avocado pits. They don't really compost in my because I have a backyard compost, not a commercial one, so it doesn't get hot enough. So that's one of the few things that can't go in there. But if you compost all your food, it really cuts down on your trash.
Yes, it does.
I don't have a Herbie Kirby because I don't have a trash. So.
Yeah, if I didn't have cat litter, I wouldn't need a Herbie Kirby either.
Yeah, I don't have cat litter, so. But
Well,
you can compost.
I wouldn't
You
put
can
cat.
compost things like Q-tips, wine corks, all kinds of different things.
Oh, how fun!
I use, well, and it depends on how you shop too. I use refillable silk dental floss, and that composts. There's lots of different things. Yeah.
I think
Dental
we need to
floss
have
the
a
birds use for
composting
nuts.
class.
I'm sorry, what?
That would be a really good idea since we made the rain barrels. We could make composting bins.
Yes. Yes, it's easy. It's easy to compost. I don't understand why more people don't do that. It's really good for the earth. And every spring I get wonderful black soil from my plants. It's fabulous.
Can you put the plants, like if you've planted annuals and you pull them up, can you put that in the compost?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Dorothy, I can give you Sally's address.
Bring them there.
You guys have to know how many impatiens Dorothy plants. I saw her at the greenhouse one day with her semi truck.
The only thing that grows under the walnut trees. No,
I was going to say, I know that a lot of things won't grow by walnuts. You have to be very careful what you get.
Yeah, and my compost doesn't break down very fast either. So in like the spring, it's this beehive shaped thing with a lid that you spin off on top. There's a little like thing you open at the bottom, but that's useless. You can't get in there. There's too much weight. And I will take the whole thing off the ground in the spring, and there's a lot of not decomposed stuff on the top because I have no way to turn it. And so about the bottom 1/3 will be beautiful compost.
Right. That's about what mine is. I do turn mine. I have a long, like a metal stick with a corkscrew on the bottom. And I put it in there and turn it, like this. And that keeps it, and it composts much more quickly that way. Everything gets turned together better. I
like churning butter.
About once a month.
And where did you get that metal thing?
A friend got it for me, but I'm guessing Gardener's Supply.
And is your compost in a container, or is it just a fenced?
It's in a container.
Portion of your garden. Okay.
It's in a container back in the corner. Because I need a one with a lid. I don't want to get any little animals there.
Yeah, ours is just open in a far corner of the yard, so we can
that works.
Pitchfork it quite
but
easily.
I think that a lid keeps it hotter in the summer and it composts better.
He keeps a tarp over it, so it
right,
creates heat.
Right.
Well, I think we need to have a composting class. So you guys all.
I think we do too. And you know what? I bet if we could get the barrels from Bell's, we could use those for compost bins.
Okay, I wrote it down, guys.
Okay, that sounds good.
Talk to Jason.
Good class. So I'd like to thank you all. We have actually, shared tips for an hour now and had great conversations. And I hope you can all see each other and have enjoyed some contact with some folks you may not have seen for a year and a half.
Thank you, ladies. It's been fun.
Hopefully,
I appreciate everything I've learned tonight.
Stay safe out there, everybody.
We'll get back together in person. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Stay safe.
So if you would all just hang on for a moment, Jason will close the show and then we can have a little conversation. So please hang in there and don't turn your device off. And we'd like to
Ouch.
thank everyone who watched tonight. We hope you learned something. Hope you felt like you were at a real class with other participants, and hope you had a good time, and make sure you share this video with your friends. Thanks, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Hey, if not sooner, Jean.
Just hang on, April.
I'm not going anyplace.